Welcome to Powerful, Wild and Magical, the podcast for the female leader who wants to reconnect with her true essence, step into her divine feminine power and make a huge impact in the world. I am your host, Nadia Gargalo, and in today's episode we have Amelia Fortino. Amelia is a certified women's health coach, specializing in nutrition and healing your relationship with food and your body. Passion is showing women how to unlearn diet culture and love themselves no matter what their body looks like, and helping other moms love their new bodies after babies. In this deep conversation, Amelia shares her journey from binge eating to healing her relationship with food and her body. We talk about why so many women are constantly fighting with their bodies, how self-love and self-acceptance is the key to changing your relationship with your body. She shares some self-love practices and how to approach health and nutrition as a way of empowerment. If you feel you need to improve your relationship with your body and health, you are going to love this episode. So let's dive in. Hi, Amelia. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here. I really love the topic we are going to be discussing about today, which is all around body image and health. I think it's such an important topic to talk about, especially for women. So welcome to the show.
Hi, Nadia. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here and talk about this with you. It's something I'm so passionate about.
Okay, so I would love to start with your story. I know it's a very powerful story that I can really relate to. And could you just share with us your journey with body acceptance and self-love and everything you have been going through in regards to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely been a long journey for me to get here to feel where I just can love myself and accept my body and feel comfortable in my own skin. I went through as a child, I was overweight, so I struggled with my body and feeling comfortable. And then as I got older, when I learned about health and how to exercise, things started to change, and I did start getting into the world of bodybuilding. I became a bikini competitor, and then it a little bit spiraled where I became obsessed with having the perfect body and over exercising, dieting hard. And then after having kids, just my idea of how to take care of your body, how to be healthy, how to exercise has changed. And I've learned that exercise doesn't have to be a punishment to try and make yourself smaller. It's a way to stay healthy, make yourself feel good, and you can wear whatever feels good and you feel comfortable in. It's not about the way that you look, or pushing yourself or punishing yourself. It's about doing what feels good and keeping yourself healthy and active.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was your experience going so deep into the fitness world? Like, what did you see coming out from that experience?
It's been a long time that I've been in the fitness world. And I think when I started out, my whole idea was I wanted to lose weight. I think so many women get into it. They start out, their whole idea is they want to lose weight. We're always told we need to be smaller. We need to lose weight. We need to be more fit. And when you go into bodybuilding, you're on a very strict diet, you're exercising all the time, 2 times a day, 2-3 hours a day. And it became obsessive to the point where I was so restricted with food. It actually led me to an eating disorder. And I started binging all the time, binge eating on all the foods I wasn't allowed to eat. There was all these strict rules, and it really just spiraled into a really unhealthy place. And from there, I had to unlearn all the things I thought were healthy, and were actually disordered eating, and learn how to actually eat healthy and focus on true health, not what you look like, because what you look like is not really your health.
Yeah, I can so relate to this story because I also went very hard into the fitness world, even though I didn't compete, but I'm being so much in my masculine energy, like going so hard for everything and so focused in the goals I wanted to achieve that I pushed myself a lot. And it was exactly the same experience. I was exercising 1.5 hours to 2 hours every day, doing weights in the gym, doing a lot of HIIT and cardio as well, dieting extremely, and I got to the same point. I developed binge eating disorder, and actually before I've been a success and business coach. I was a food freedom and self-love coach for binge eaters because of this reason. Like we cannot understand how the diet culture puts this mindset on women of we have to be smaller and we have to be dieting, and it puts us in a very unhealthy place with health, because what most women believe is healthy is actually not healthy at all, and it's very damaging to their bodies and mindset.
Yes, it's so common, and it is until you've really seen it. All the things you think you need to do to be healthy as a woman. Oh, we just need to eat less. We just need to exercise more. And just no carbs, all these things, like all these health rules are really like eating disordered habits. And we're taught that these are health rules.
So why do you think so many women have such a bad body image and they are constantly in a fight with their bodies? Like, where does this all start for you?
I think it's generational for sure. And what the media has portrayed as what's a beautiful woman has most of the time typically been, a smaller, thin women. This is what we see on TV. This is what we see everywhere. And it's just generational. Some of the habits that we got that we think are what to do to be healthy is learned from our mothers and our grandmothers above us, telling us, oh, don't eat that, or, things like that. That you don't realize you grow up as a child with these things, and then it comes out later and becomes something that can cause an eating disorder.
Yeah, I can, like, just by you saying this, I can recall to a time when I was little, and I know she didn't want anything bad for me, but my mom made a comment when I was probably in high school, 12, 13 years old. And she said to me, because I have a very, like, my back is very curvy. So normally my posture is to kind of have the belly out, but it's not because I have a belly or anything. It's just because my lower back is curvy because of the rhythmic gymnastics. And I remember her telling me, like, put your belly in. And this became a thing that was in my mind constantly. Like, don't show your belly, like put your belly in. You like press your abs. And
yeah, the littlest things, it's funny how they really do stick with you.
Yeah.
And what you said earlier about like when you were super hard into the fitness thing, you were really in like masculine energy. I feel like that is so ingrained in our culture for women to be projecting masculine energy all the time. I think it's partly because of like feminism and women want to feel empowered. So there's like a misunderstanding that for us to be empowered, we have to be doing things the way a man does them or doing what a man does. And I don't think it's correct. I think it's a misunderstanding of how to feel empowered. And so we're doing this, like, there's like this hustle mentality or like this grind culture. And we feel like we have to go, go, go. We have to go harder in order to prove ourselves. We feel, okay, we need to work out as hard as a man does, do everything that a man does. And it's really not the way nature intended us, for us to be and for us to flow. And so it causes, it's a struggle. It's unnatural.
Yeah, it's interesting to think like how much we push ourselves thinking that's something good. But then if you think how much we force our bodies, it's crazy. Like when you come out of a situation like this or experience like this, at least for me, it's now like look back, I'm like, how could I force my body so much? And now that I have this deep connection with my body and I love my body the way it is, I'm like, oh my God, my body's done so much for me. Like it's been there keeping healthy and keeping through all the struggles, like all the push and all the pressure I was putting in my body, because it's crazy. Like if I look back, I was eating so restrictively that there was no way the calories my body needed for the amount of exercise and activity I had. But still my body was pushing through to keep alive and to stay healthy, you know?
Yeah, I love how you say, like, now I look back and I thank my body for everything it has carried me through, because it really is like about shifting your mind from a place of like gratitude and like accepting and just saying like, wow, I've done so much. My body has carried me through all of this, instead of we're always picking ourselves apart and looking at a negative way, like what can we change about our bodies? Sometimes we're taught like we need to exercise because we want to change, like my stomach is too big so I need to go run, instead of like being grateful. I can go out here, I can move, I can go run on the beach or whatever you want to do that feels good. And when you come from a place of gratitude, it really changes how you feel, and it's just such a better way to go about it.
Yeah, it's such a different way of approaching health, coming from a place of gratitude and what I can do for my body that is good for my body, than, okay, let's force my body to do this, no matter how it feels, no matter how hard it is, no matter how tired I am or how restrictive I'm being. It's such a different angle to come from. So, like, what are your thoughts in regards to nutrition and diets, like all the things, all the diet culture?
My thoughts on, diet and nutrition has definitely changed a lot over the years and the different types of like studying that I've done. But I definitely believe in a more balanced approach. Obviously there are foods that are better for us, organic, like lean meats, vegetables, fruits. But I think your mindset when it comes to nutrition is really important too, not just what you're putting in your body, but how you're viewing what you're putting in your body. So if you're eating something because you think this is going to make you thin, or this is going to make you lose weight, or you're not enjoying it, it's an unhealthy mindset. So no matter what you're putting in your body, the way you think about it is important too.
That's so powerful. I love that. So what you're saying is that what you think about the food that you are eating is also going to affect how that food is affecting your health.
Yeah, definitely. Because you can be eating very healthy food, but have an unhealthy mindset about why you're eating it. And you're not going to be feeling good. You're not going to be living. You're not going to be thriving off of that.
One of the things I learned in my journey was how the restrictive diet, so like eating just the salads and the lean chicken breast and all that stuff, and not allowing yourself to have things that you like and enjoy, can have even more damage than having those things, because you are putting so much stress in your body, and stress is such a toxic thing. So you think you are actually doing a favor to yourself and being healthy, eating that way, and like being restrictive and being so good, sticking to your diet, when you are actually not. And actually cortisol is one of the things that make women fat or not lose weight.
Yeah, the stress of it definitely does increase your cortisol. I think food too is not just a way to nourish your body. I always say like there's food for your body and there's food for your soul. It's like food creates memories, food creates love with family. There's cultural foods. And if you're missing out on those experiences, you're missing out on life. And that's a very important part of your health and your happiness and just overall. So there are things that they're probably not the best for you all the time, but if you don't allow yourself to just enjoy them and just enjoy the moments and the memories it creates, then you're losing out right there.
Yeah, I can so much relate to that. I remember when I was strict into the diets, that I will say no to dinners with friends constantly, just because of not being around food, because I know that will trigger me to wanting to eat all the foods that I didn't allow myself to have. And even Christmas was horrible, because I knew I was going to like follow my diet first, but then secondly, I knew, especially towards the end of my binge eating disorder, because the more strict I was being and the more I kept going with the diet, the like stronger the binges will be. So I knew I will completely lose control over food. And it was just not that I knew I was not going to stick to my diet. It was just the guilt afterwards, because it's something that you really can't control once you get to that point. Like the binges are not something that you can control.
Yeah, when you get so strict and you become where you feel you can't control yourself around those certain foods, and then you do binge, it really goes out of control where your body, I think it's part of your body telling you you need this, but a switch almost goes off in your brain and it's like you literally can't stop. You just keep eating and it becomes so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and probably my family wouldn't even notice, but I would feel so bad myself that instead of enjoying the time with my family, I will be the days before thinking, I'm going to go there, I'm going to lose control. I don't want to do this. And then the days I was there, I will feel so bad with myself and so guilty for just not being able to control myself around food, that it becomes, instead of enjoying your time with your family, it becomes a whole thing around the food.
Yes, it becomes such a mental and emotional struggle for, you know, ourselves internally. And like you said, my family probably wouldn't even notice. I think with all of that stuff going on in your head, you do start to think, are people judging me? What are people going to think if I eat this? If I'm supposed to be healthy, they're going to see me eating, you know, pasta and they're going to say, oh, you can't eat that. You're healthy. And then you start to, you know, create this story in your mind that everyone else is judging you, and you place all this guilt on yourself that you have to be perfect and live up to these standards of this healthy persona that you created. And it's so unhealthy mentally and emotionally too.
Yeah, and we are talking from the perspective of the binge eating disorder, but this happens to women who are constantly on diets as well. Like the diet and what you're going to eat and the calories you are going to eat start to run your life instead of enjoying those moments and having that balance with food. And with, as you said, food is love, food is community, is family, celebration, is so many other things than just what you put in your body.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Even for people who aren't binging, if you just care, if you're so focused on your diet, it's like you're here, but you're not present. Your mind is somewhere else. Like you said, your mind is counting the calories. Your mind is thinking about how long do I have to be in the gym tomorrow to make up for this. You're not present. You're not enjoying the moment.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts on the scale? Because that was a huge thing in my journey as well. I know, like, so many women just first thing in the morning, go jump on the scale, and that's like running the whole mood of the day.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know what you mean, because I used to be one of those women, and I would weigh myself multiple times in the day.
Wow.
And I had someone in the past who taught me, and see, we have these people who teach us these things to help us lose weight or to help us be healthy. You know, okay, at the end of the day, if you're hungry, you need to weigh yourself. And if your weight is up, you need to not eat. So we let this number that really doesn't mean anything control our life. And I haven't weighed myself in a long time now. Actually, I was like, I do, you know, think about my weight sometimes. And I, a while ago, was saying, you know, I feel like I want to lose some weight since I had this last baby. And I finally just said, you know, I really, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. And I really don't need to pay attention to that number, because if I start my day that way, I'm giving the power away to a number of if I'm going to feel good or not. And that just seems really silly. Like, we can just choose to wake up and be grateful and appreciate our body and appreciate the life that we have, instead of focusing on a number that really isn't going to change anything other than ruin our mood.
Yeah, and it's crazy, especially as women, that we fluctuate so much because, you know, hormonal processes, cycles, the period, that we rely on that number so much when it can change from one day to another. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so it's just like you might have been eating super well according to your diet that week, and then see the numbers on the scale not going down because of whatever hormonal cycle you are in, or your period around the corner, or you have like for some more hormonal changes like water retention, whatever that is, which is not really fat, but still can kind of ruin your whole effort.
Yeah. And I try to think of it and teach women like we don't need to weigh ourselves every day, but we also don't need to avoid the scale. We don't need to be afraid of it. It's just how much you weigh is just one little number. You just can detach from it. It doesn't affect your worth. It's not something you need to be afraid of or to be obsessed with. So I feel like you don't need to avoid it, but it doesn't need to be an everyday thing. Because there is that other side where you're like, oh no, I don't want to weigh myself. And then it can become this fear. And then say you go to the doctor and you get weighed, then you're going to have an emotional breakdown because you had no idea how much you weighed. And so I feel like I've been in both of those places. And I just try to find like, just always try to find like a happy medium, just always try to find a balance and detach your emotions from things that are out of your control.
Yeah. So why is body acceptance and self-love so important to heal your relationship with your body?
I just think it's so important to share that message because the whole world and everybody is putting this stuff into your mind the opposite. And we don't realize how much this programming throughout our life, it detaches us from our relationship with ourselves. It changes the way we think about ourselves. And it should be natural just to go about your day. And, you shouldn't be obsessing about the way you look and how much you weigh. But somehow this culture has been created where this is like the number one thing in a woman's life is to be thin. And it's so important to undo that programming. It's like, it's not that people need to learn how to love and accept themselves. They do, but they need to unlearn all the things you've been programmed your whole life to not accept yourself, to pick yourself apart, to be your body's like your enemy. You're like picking apart. I hate my stomach, all these things. We're taught that that's normal and it's not. So I feel like it's not just a learning process, it's the unlearning process.
Yeah, I can so much relate to that. And when it comes like to everything, to the thoughts I had around my body, around what was healthy, and like even the way I used to eat all my days, like I had to unlearn completely everything so I could learn a healthier way. So 100% the unlearning phase is so important. And would you like to give some tips on like what people can start doing to work on self-love and self-acceptance? Is there any practice you would like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like the first thing to do is to find awareness to the things that or habits that you're doing now that are making you uncomfortable, putting you in that bad mood, like possibly weighing yourself, measuring your food, looking at the calorie labels, things like that. And just to stop doing those. I think sometimes we're so focused on what can we do more. Before we try to do more, we need to like take a step back and say, what can I let go of that's not serving me anymore? What can I stop doing now? And just to let go of those can bring you a sense of peace. And then if you're letting go of an old habit and you are like struggling in the morning, I need to get on the scale by myself. Well, I always say, like, let's take the old habit you want to let go of and invite in a new habit that you feel is going to make you feel good. So just awareness to what doesn't make you feel good, letting go of it, and then finding something else, and I think it's something that you go day by day and see what feels good. So instead of getting in the scale in the morning, looking in the mirror and criticizing yourself, look at the mirror and tell yourself something good. Thank yourself, thank your body, thank God for the day. Like practice gratitude instead of negativity and criticism first thing in the morning, and it will completely change your mind.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So you are an advocate for using health and fitness as a way of empowerment and an important part of self-care. Could you share more on this approach?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that there's two pretty popular, things out there right now. There's those hardcore, like fitness, like no days off, push yourself, like kind of grind mentality. And then there's this space of body positivity and body acceptance. And I feel like there's an important piece missing, that the two don't have to be separate. Just because you want to be healthy and fit, you can accept your body. And just because you accept your body doesn't mean you don't need to exercise or pay attention to what you're eating. And it's not in a restrictive way, but it's in a way of, just because, I can eat pizza every day and still love my body, does that really actually make me feel good? Is that actually healthy for me in the long term? Probably not. So I just felt like I wanted to find like a space and create a space where you could change your mindset around fitness. Like, yes, I care about what I eat and I care about taking care of my body, not because I need to be thinner, not because I don't love my body, but because I do love myself and I want to take care of myself. And I think that sometimes people in the body positive movement, want to promote like that. Just accept your body. You can accept your body and want to be healthy. I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive.
Oh, I love this. Because one of the most, I think most powerful things I did in my own transformation was connecting to the version of myself I wanted to be, and coming from the place of, first, how is that version of me, how will that version of me think about her body and talk to her body, and then what actions is the best version of me, or the version of me I want to become, will do. And that was, obviously, now I didn't want to restrict myself, but I knew the best version of me wouldn't be eating pizza every day, just because it's not healthy for my body. So I think this is such a powerful thing, to connect to making these choices from a place of food, like nourishment and care for my body, rather than restriction or losing the weight. And you naturally start making healthy choices, but from a very healthy place and very healthy mindset.
Yeah. And it changes when you shift your mindset from, I am going to eat this meal that is healthy because it feels good and I deserve this, from like, I have to eat this because if I eat pizza, it's going to make me fat. It's like, just changing your mindset around why you're doing things can change the outcome. You could be doing the same activity, but the way you're, the intention, having the intention of why you're doing things is important too. And like how you said, I need to think about, how would the best version of myself show up? I think sometimes we are like putting this best version of ourselves like so far in the future. And once I get here, I can become her. So sometimes we think like, this woman who's going to love herself, this woman who's going to accept her body, this woman who takes care of herself, is fit, is a thin woman, because that's the image we've been portrayed. And I try to teach women that you're not reaching some goal of this like dream woman, but once you become this dream, like physical, a lot of times it's a physical idea in their mind. Once I physically look this way, I'm going to feel this way, I'm going to do these actions. But it's really like, no, I am this woman who loves myself and takes care of myself, and I'm just going to take those inspired actions today. I don't need to look this way and be this woman in the future. Like, I can just be. If this is who I want to be, then I'm just going to be this person.
Yeah, so it's all about the opposite, actually. It's becoming and feeling that person first. And when you actually do, or at least for myself, when I started to connect with this and naturally started to make healthier choices, I started to lose weight. And now for me, like, I'm in my perfect healthy weight. I'm not super thin because I'm not, I'm a curvy person, and that's how I am. I'm never gonna have thin legs or like a small butt, but now I'm like, I love my body, and I'm in this weight without any effort, because once you have the mindset, then everything else comes into place.
Yeah, because sometimes we think like the mindset and that confidence and that peace with ourselves is going to come from having this image of whatever images that we want it to look like. And if you take away the idea that you need to become something else to change the way you feel and the way you act, then you'll realize once you're changing your actions and you're changing the way you think, you won't really care about the image anymore. You may never hit that image. You may realize that that wasn't what you were even striving for. If you're only striving for the physical image, then you will never be satisfied. Once you find peace with doing things that are just intentional and aligned with who you want to be, you won't really care about what's on the outside.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on like body image and health having an impact in the success of women as entrepreneurs?
I think it just goes with like what I was saying, having this image of who you want to be. And sometimes we think we will not be successful until we have, XYZ, all of these things in line. And a lot of it is we think we have to look the part or look a certain way to have a certain role. Like you said earlier, it's that grinding culture where in order to be a successful entrepreneur, we want to be like this boss babe. And so we need to be grinding in the gym. We need to be doing, like, we feel we need to be doing everything right to be this successful person. But I think that success looks differently for everyone. And your health is like your own journey, and it doesn't really have to be tied to how successful you are. You might not be perfectly fit or healthy, but it's just one of those things where it's not really a destination. It's just that every day we just try. I feel like every day you should just wake up and just try to make the day, make the best decisions that are going to align with where you want to be. And every day is a new day to make those decisions.
Oh, I love that. Like, especially when you said it's the journey, is not the destination. Like, I think that should be priority for everyone in any area of your life, like realizing that the moment is now, that we need to be present and living in the moment, that rather than always in the outcome. So the journey with, like, whether it's health, your business, your relationships, love relationships, wherever that is, I think is so important to focus on the journey rather than the destination, so we can make choices on a daily basis that are more aligned and more connected to what we love and how we feel.
Right. And so we can enjoy and live in the present moment, because if we're only worried about we're doing all these things every day just to get to a certain point in the future, just to hit the goals, you're not really living in the moment. You're not enjoying the moment. You're not being present, and the time will just pass, and you're just always looking at the future, always trying to hit a goal. You're not really living. Yeah. It's important just to live.
Is again,
the goals are important too. The goals are there to push us and to have something to strive for. It's always great to, want to do more, be better, improve ourselves, but we have to be happy with where we are, because the future is not promised. So we can't wait to be happy till we hit the goals. We need to just have the goals. They push us, they keep us inspired, and we live with that inspired action every day and just feel aligned with where we're going in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so just before we finish, we'd love to ask the powerful, wild, and magical question. So what's something you're absolutely in love with right now in your life that's really lighting your soul up?
I am just absolutely in love with the fact that I recently just became a stay-at-home mom. I'm still an entrepreneur doing my business ventures, but I was also working another job. And I have always had that hustle mentality, grind, grind, grind. In order to be worthy, I need to be doing, doing, doing. And I feel so good about the fact that I said this the other day, we don't need to be doing, we just sometimes need to be. And I just love that I can settle down, slow down, and just enjoy the moments and find some peace.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And especially since you have a newborn, so you're gonna be able to spend more time with him and focus on your business from this feminine place, which I think is so powerful.
Yes, I'm really trying to get out of that masculine energy and connect with my femininity. I think that we get like feminism and femininity confused, and we think we need to be so empowered and go. We need to be in this masculine energy. I think women can be successful and have a slower feminine energy. Feminine energy, just, we should flow. We don't need to push.
Yeah, I love that. So would you like to share where people can find you, and if you want to share any offers or anything going on for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am rebranding right now, kind of moving away from teaching fitness. I feel like fitness is an outlet of taking care of yourself and a way of doing that, but it's not the end all be all. And my main message is taking care of yourself and loving yourself. So you can find me at Instagram now, Self-Love with Amelia. And I'm just focusing on creating and inspiring and just sharing that message with you guys. Hopefully in the future, I'll have some other tangible offers for you, but I feel like I just want to create a community, and I just want to inspire, and I just want to share this message. So that's really what I'm doing right now.
Oh, that's lovely. So all our listeners, if you are on a journey to love your body and have a healthier relationship with anything in regards to exercise, food, and your body, go reach her out because she's amazing. And thank you so much for being here today and sharing this now.
I know, it's been fun.
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please subscribe, share it, tag me and Amelia, and share your thoughts and what came up for you with us. I would love to connect with you. Follow me on Instagram, where you can find more of what I do and chat with me. For now, stay in your light, and I will see you in the next episode. Powerful, wild, and magical being.